We have a lot of news to cover today, so let's dive right in. Let's begin with GitHub, which just held their annual event and announced some exciting updates. The biggest news is about GitHub CoPilot. If you don't remember, Copilot was one of the first tools to use AI to help developers write code. You could start typing a piece of code, and the AI would suggest how to finish it. It was like magic back then, and now GitHub is giving developers even more options. GitHub, owned by Microsoft, is now allowing developers to choose the AI model that powers Copilot's suggestions. You can choose between models like Claude 3.5, Sonnet Gemini 1.5 Pro, and One Preview. This is a smart move because it gives developers the flexibility to pick the model that best suits their needs. For example, Claude 3.5 is great for coding tasks across the entire software development lifecycle, while Google's Gemini 1.5 Pro is better for more complex coding. Gemini also has a massive 2 million token context window, which means it can handle really large code bases. The 0-1 models are best for super complicated coding tasks. GitHub also introduced a new tool called Spark. Spark lets you build applications using simple, natural language commands. This means you don't need to know how to code or manage cloud resources. Spark does it all for you. It's part of a larger trend of making AI tools more accessible to everyone, not just expert developers. It's amazing to see how much GitHub has evolved since Copilot was first introduced. With these new updates, they're continuing to lead the way in making AI a powerful tool for developers. Next, let's talk about Apple. They just released iOS version 18.1, which introduces a new feature called Apple Intelligence. This feature was heavily promoted during the launch of the iPhone 16, but it's only now becoming available to the public. Unfortunately, it's not quite as impressive as Apple made it sound. Apple Intelligence was supposed to be an AI that understands everything on your phone, your contacts, emails, texts, and apps. But in reality, it doesn't do much of that. For example, it was advertised as being able to search across multiple apps, but I haven't found it to work very well. There are also features like custom emojis and text-to-image generation, but I don't have access to those yet. So what does it actually do? Well, it can help with writing tasks, like rewriting text or generating writing prompts, but we've seen these features in other apps already. One useful feature is the notification roll-up, which summarizes your notifications so you don't have to scroll through them all. That's been pretty handy for me. You can also use Apple Intelligence in Apple Photos. If you describe an album to the AI, it will create one for you. But to be honest, I still find Google Photos to be better overall. I even tried switching to Apple Photos and ran into some missing features. As for Siri, it's received a small update, but it's still not much better. Sometimes, when you ask Siri a question, it hands off the request to ChatGPT, which works fine. But you can use ChatGPT in other ways without needing Siri. I really wish Siri had OpenAI's advanced voice mode built in. It would make the experience so much better. If you have an iPhone 15 or 16, it's worth trying out Apple Intelligence, but it's not quite as revolutionary as I was hoping for. Let me know if you've tried it and what you think. Drop a comment. Now, on to some big news about chip manufacturing. TSMC, the company that makes computer chips, has reported that their new Arizona factory is now outperforming their Taiwan facility. This is a huge milestone because Taiwan has long been the leader in chip production. The Arizona plant has only been in operation for a short time, but it's already producing chips at a higher yield than the Taiwan plant. This is great news for the US, because it reduces our reliance on foreign-made chips, which are crucial for everything from smartphones to cars. I'm really excited to see this growth in US chip production, especially since it shows that we can compete globally in an industry as important as semiconductors. Now let's look at what Meta is doing. It's been reported that Meta, the parent company of Facebook, is developing its own search engine. This is huge because Google has dominated the search market for the last 20 years, and Meta hasn't been able to break into it despite several attempts. But things might be different now. Google is facing competition from companies like Perplexity and ChatGPT, and Meta has its own Llama AI models, which are used by millions of people every month. All Meta needs to do is add real-time search capabilities to these models, and they could have a real shot at competing with Google. Meta has already been crawling the web for years, collecting data, and they recently struck a deal with Reuters to provide real-time news through their Meta AI platform. This could be a game-changer in the search world. Personally, I'm excited to see more competition in search. I've been using Perplexity and ChatGPT more often than Google Search lately because they give me more direct answers. I only use Google Search when I know exactly what I'm looking for, like a specific website or image. Meta is also working on things like Ray-Ban AI glasses, but I'm not convinced that glasses are the future of AI. Mark Zuckerberg seems to think so, but I'm not sure. Either way, more competition in the search market is definitely a good thing. Speaking of Meta, they've just released quantized versions of their Llama AI models. These are smaller, faster versions of the original models. The trade-off is that the quality might not be as high, but the difference is actually pretty small. The advantage of these quantized models is that they can run on more types of devices, making them more accessible to people who don't have super powerful computers. These models can process information up to 4 times faster and take up less memory, which is great for anyone who wants to run AI models directly on their device without relying on the cloud. I haven't tested these new models yet, but I'm excited to see how they perform. If you've tried them out, let me know how they're working for you. In other AI hardware news, Cerebrus, a company that makes custom chips designed to run AI models, has made a huge leap in how fast their chips can process information. Their new system can handle 2,100 tokens per second, which is 16 times faster than the best GPUs on the market. This speed boost is a big deal for anyone working with large AI models or processing a lot of data. Cerebrus has been making waves in the AI hardware space, and they recently filed to go public, so you might be able to buy stock in the company soon. I'm really impressed with what they've accomplished, and I can't wait to see how their chips will be used in future AI projects. Next up, Google is developing a new AI assistant for its Chrome browser called Javis. Javis will be able to help you browse the web, do research, book flights, and even purchase products online, all without you having to lift a finger. What's interesting is how Javis works. It takes screenshots of your screen and then decides what to do next, like clicking buttons or filling out forms. It's a little slow because it has to think for a few seconds before taking each action, but this could be really useful for automating tasks online. This is similar to what Claude does, which can control your computer, but Jarvis works inside your browser. It's not perfect yet, but I'm curious to see how it performs once it's available to everyone. Finally, let's talk about Stable Diffusion 3.5 Medium. This is an open-source text-to-image model that lets you create images based on text descriptions. The Medium model has been improved to offer better quality, more coherence, and multi-resolution image generation. The cool thing about this version is that it's designed to run on devices with less processing power, so you don't need a super high-end computer to use it. If you have a decent graphics card, you can even run it on your own device without relying on cloud services. I'm excited to try it out myself, and if you're interested in generating images with AI, this could be a great tool for you. That's all for today's news. If you enjoyed this update, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments which story you found the most interesting, and I'll see you in the next one.